So I went on 40, 50 listing appointments from Meskula. And then this year I'm already at 90 or 80 to 90.
Oh,
Not
wow.
all Meskula, but mostly from Meskula now.
Cool.
And basically I have about 12 or 13 deals closed, but I have a bunch of other ones coming to the market. So,
I got you.
and this is a thing. You do a great job on one of them, they refer you to another one, right?
I
And
got
that's
you.
kind of what's been happening.
All right, folks. We got a great one here today. We got Nick Moretti out from, a Toronto area, having a lot of success converting Facebook seller leads. Okay. So he's definitely, doing a great job. That's why we got him here to tell us a little bit more about it. So, Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and, how did you get into the whole, Facebook seller lead generation thing? Go for it.
Yeah, great question. So, basically, been selling real estate, living the dream for 8 years full time. So, I started on my own company 3 years ago when COVID happened. If I was going to risk my life, I'd rather risk it to get all the biscuit, right? So, basically did that. And then I actually grew my business through when I first got into the industry, the hardest things that people didn't want to do. So, online leads, door knocking, cold calling. I did all these things like really good because these are things people don't do. And if you get really
Yeah.
good at it and you can deal with objection and still be confident and know the market even more, then this is something that's, not a lot of people can do. So that was my kind of way into the market. So my job was just be as scripted as possible to, I didn't have a lot of because my family is Italian, they're from Italy. So I don't have a big spheres of influence like a lot of other people. So I had to learn how to make strangers my friends, right? And now I have so many. So basically, that's how I got into it. And then I was doing online leads, did very well with it. And then found Meskula, and the rest is history.
I got you. I got you. So yeah, and that's great. And I love that. So, you had already done, you're going to cut your teeth doing other kinds of prospecting. So the transition over to internet leads was not that rough, I'm assuming, right? You kind of knew how to pick up the phone, you knew how to talk to people, which are,
Yes,
you've got a huge leg up when you go into
yes,
online lead generation with that attitude. That's usually what I find. That's awesome. So
yes,
you started out with our friends at Meskula, marketing agency that we work with. And
yes.
what happened? What have been the results you've gotten with that?
Yeah, so I actually had other online companies that I tried out. Didn't work out with just because they overpromised and under delivered. Me myself as an agent, I know my skill set. I know I can do these things. Obviously, once you do any business, you have to kind of figure out the script and how things work. So there's a learning curve, but once you get that, it should be all things running. So met with Eto, saw one of his ads online, gave him a shout. Super cool guy, really great company that he's built. Nothing but great things to say. He's a legend. And basically from that point on, I basically got in touch with him, got to learn a little bit more of his product and his services and how it could help me get more GCI as an agent. And he was showing me some really cool things with his AIs, and all that kind of stuff, and inside sales reps and all that fun stuff, right? So really, I called a few of his referrals of just people who've done things in the industry, had really great things to say. So clients of his that are doing well. And then I took the leap of faith and joined and never looked back.
I got you. I got you. That's great. No, I love it. And Itune and his team, they built a great company. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
As far as results, how have those leads been going for you? What kind of deals have you gotten from that? Give us the deets. Give us all the
Yeah.
details. How's it
So
been going
I've
for you?
been, yeah, for sure, man. I've been with Meskula for about a year and a half, coming up
Oh
on
wow.
2 years. So
Wow.
what was really cool with them is that, you get people's phone numbers, names, and actual addresses. So, if they're
That's
not answering the phone, you figure out a way to drop something off at their house and give them the information. So there's so many different ways. It's not just this traditional call of just calling. If they don't answer, then see you later. No, like you figure it out and you work with it, right? So basically the first year I did about 7 deals, but I've actually went on a lot of listing appointments. So remember, when you're
got it.
mining selling leads, it takes 3 to 18 months before these leads become,
100%.
right? So I was going last year in total. I did about 80 listing appointments, not just from
Wow.
Meskula, but I would say Meskula was a good 50, 60% of that. So, I was had a team at the time, but I took all that for myself anyways as a team lead. So I went on 40, 50 listing appointments from Meskula. And then this year I'm already at 90 or 80 to 90.
Oh,
Not
wow.
all Meskula, but mostly from Meskula now.
Cool.
And basically I have about 12 or 13 deals closed, but I have a bunch of other ones coming to the market. So,
I got you.
and this is a thing. You do a great job on one of them, they refer you to another one, right?
I
And
got
that's
you.
kind of what's been happening. So, there's a lot of things that go into it. You obviously have to nail the scripting. You have to nail what you're talking about, believe in your skill set, and believe that you can help these people on the marketplace. And then also, then it comes down to your presentation, right? And I feel like that's where a lot of people, if they don't go on consistent listing appointments,
Yeah.
they don't really know what they're doing. So at the end of the day, it's more, it's more pieces of the pie that I take.
100%. I agree with you. I think the best thing you can expect from a great lead generation company is giving you quality at bats. Like how you got a
Exactly.
baseball cap on, right? I'm gonna go with the baseball analogy.
Exactly.
How many at bats are they providing you, right? You know your
Yes.
average. You know how many people you have to talk to. And also you're in a really competitive market, like
Exactly.
Toronto, GTA, that area. It's one of the largest cities in North America.
Yes.
Everyone and from the whole planet, seems to live there for some reason. We've done a lot of calling in the area. So, it's definitely a competitive market. It's a really competitive market. And, and even with the market the way it's been the last couple of years, not an easy market either. Right. So I think
Yeah.
those are tremendous numbers, tremendous success. And you mentioned a lot of really important, bits of information there. So I want to drill in a little bit into each one of
Yeah.
those.
Let's go.
You mentioned when these folks come in, they've got a phone number, they've got a real address, all that helps. You got to pick up the phone and talk to them. So
Exactly.
Nick, why don't you walk us through a typical initial conversation with some of these leads? Because a lot of agents, they struggle with home valuation leads. They're
Yes.
not, they want to go, they talk to them, and I feel they kind of get off on the wrong foot. They feel
Yes.
that they're just not motivated. They're kind of assuming that they're calling them to list the property, and that's actually not what they're calling you
No.
to do. So how do you approach these leads from the get-go?
Yeah. So remember, just like I was saying, like it's from 3 to 18 months. So a lot of people are in the information stage. If you now feel overbearing or overwhelming, they're not going to work with you. So basically, my first 30 seconds of the call is to just like, so everyone has a different skill set, right? And I think if you want to be very successful in any lead gen type, whatever you want to do, you have to be your true authentic self. So for my authentic self, I like to have a good time. I like to joke. I like to just ease into things. So, for example, if I have a call with someone like a book call, I just basically say, "Hey, Gus, it's just Nick Moretti giving you a shout. How you doing today? I just want to thank you for just picking up the phone and having a conversation with me. I just want to let you know that I understand that you're just in the information stage. I'm not here to sell you anything, so please don't think about
Love
that. I'm a
that.
friend, just here to help you find the online assessment, right?" So I've done I've already done some information on your property, and I did some findings. Is it okay if I can just get right into, finding a little bit more about your property so I can give you your online assessment? Does that sound good? Of course. So I see you bought it 5 years ago. It's a 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom home. It's a detached home, single car garage. Now, since you've lived in the house for 5 years, has there been any changes, additions, or any cool things that you've done to your property? And then you just kind of ease into it, right? And usually at the
Got
beginning, I just say, "How you doing?" I'm good. Well, I'm living the dream. How about you? I get that quick little chuckle so people
it.
can just feel relaxed, and then I go into it. Like
I
I'm a
got
bulldog, but people don't know I'm a bulldog because I mask it very well, and I'm already organized on how everything is going to go. And I think a lot of new agents, if you're a heavy seller listing agent like myself, this comes naturally. But if you're a buyer's agent now trying to get to the listing game, right? Because in real estate, you want to list to last. You want your sign on the
yeah.
lawn. You want to show people some market share, and you want to know people, know who you are, right? That's the best form of advertisement. Whereas if you're a buyer's rep, yeah, you may have helped 10 people, 15 people get into a house, but there's no signage, there's no nothing, and people don't really know you, right? So you want to get your signs in there for market share. So as a buyer's agent getting into this, you may sound excited, you may sound like nervous, and even selling agents may feel the same way. But I would just tell everyone, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And before you make your calls, let me ask you a question, Gus. If you go do a test that's really important to you, do you think you're studying a week, 2 weeks, a month before you take the test? Of course you are.
If I want to pass,
Exactly,
yes.
right? So why wouldn't being prepared for a meeting be the same way? Like, in this industry, the only difference between you and I is the way we present and the way we communicate. So that basically says that we need to make sure that how we say things, how we position things, how we connect, and how we become our true authentic self and connect with someone that's going to be a potential customer or partner or, client for the whole year, or not client for life, I mean. It's really important to do these things. So why are this not different? Like, I know a lot of, because I coach a lot as well. So a lot of people don't even pull up the last
Mhm.
listing. A lot of people don't pull up the last, couple sales in the neighborhood, or they're pulling a comp that's here when the house is all the way over here, which is two different communities, right? So, I mean, I can go on and on about it, but it comes down to studying and how bad do you want to get that listing on the lawn, right? And that doesn't mean you be aggressive. That just means that you need to, educate yourself about the community, different types of products. How can you position your product a little bit more, or in a different way to hog the limelight in the marketplace, so more people can come to your listing, right? So there's just a lot of things, and that's what I love about listings personally, because it's a creative juice that goes out. So if you follow me on social media, you'll know that, like, my listing videos, my lifestyle videos, my coming soon videos are all like authentic to me, and I have a good time. Like, let me tell you something. When you feel someone that's having fun, isn't that a contagious feeling? And don't you want to just like have fun with them? Of course you do.
100%. It's attractive. It's attractive. People are like, hey,
That's what
I
you
want to
got
work
to
with the guy,
do.
not the guy that
Yeah,
hates life. I want to work with the guy that's having a good time and enjoying themselves. That which means they're good at
exactly.
what they do. Probably they're good at what they do.
Exactly, right? So Meskula has given me a lot of opportunities to get further in my career, and I can't thank them enough.
So I love that. So you're having an initial conversation. You take the edge off right away. I'm not here to
Yeah.
sell you anything. I'm here to
No.
help you. Right.
Yes.
You asked for a home evaluation, and I'm going to give you the best, damn home evaluation that's ever been done. Right. I'm going to come. I'm going to prep, and I'm going to impress you. Impress you.
Exactly.
A way I like to say this. Let me know if you agree. When you're talking to some of these leads, and this is really, really true of seller leads, it's not even how long do you take before you ask for the appointment. It's really more about how long do you take to add some value, just to impress
Exactly.
them, to show them like
Yeah.
exactly who you are and why it's valuable to know you. It's valuable to talk to you. I think too many agents are taught. You shouldn't even say the word listing. I think
No.
at the very beginning, I
No.
don't think you should be allowed to say that word when you're talking to these leads because that's not what they asked for. That's not what
No.
they want. That's not really it. They're asking for something completely different. But if you get there and the way you're presenting yourself, you impress them. You're adding a bunch of value. You're showing off your expertise. Like
Exactly.
you're getting the job done. Getting the job done. So,
Yes.
so Nick, you have this initial conversation with them. They're gonna either want that initial evaluation. Maybe they want you to come take a look at the property to get something more detailed. What does the follow up process look like for you? Like I said, 3 months on the short end can be up to 18 months on the long end. What does it look like for you after month one, two, three, four? Are you checking in with them every month, calling them, email
Yeah, for
drip? What does
sure.
it look like to follow up with these
Yeah,
guys?
so I can tell you with my system, if I'm getting booked calls, so people who want to talk to me, let's say if I get 10 book calls, I'm pretty much getting my foot in the door to do a home assessment on that call, I would say 8, 9, or 10 times. So those
Wow. So you're
ratios are
there.
really high. Yeah. So now
Wow.
the question is okay, you get to the door, they're not ready to make a move yet. What are you doing next? So great question there. So what I do is I actually put them on a prospect search, meaning that I in that conversation. So let me step back here because there's so many great pieces
Yeah.
that I think a lot of people need to know. So when you go into the house, remember you're trying to connect. You do a tour, like how my process is. I connect with them. I get in the door. Thank you for meeting me. Now I tell them, like I said, I lead by humor, right, and comedy, right. So I just say, listen. So thanks for having me here. So why don't you show me around the property? Let me give me a tour of the house, and let me tell you something. If you do really well, I might hire you. Right? And so you look like a realtor. So I kind of just make that easygoing, kind of chill atmosphere. While I'm going through the house, I'm then building, more solid ground with them. I'm connecting with them more. Oh, I love this color. Or they have a dog. I'm connecting with the dog. Oh, you done this upgrade. How come you did this upgrade? Honestly, great job on doing this, and then learn more. What do you do for work? Like, you just connect throughout the whole tour. And then once the tour is over, I'm basically saying, well, you know what? You did a great job. So if you don't want to do what you want to do, I would suggest to get your real estate license. And I think we could work together. Right. So I'm already planting the seed of working together, right?
Gotcha.
Subconsciously.
Gotcha.
So then I
Love
go
it.
there, I show them the comps, I go through the book, I go through the market stats, show them the comps, give them the range, tell them what I do, and what the percentage is for based on the package that they want to do. And then after that, in that conversation, I'm finding out, well, if you do sell your house, where do you want to go next? So I'm finding all these great details. So when I leave the appointment and they're not choosing to move forward with anything, which that is totally cool, basically now it's a follow-up game. So what do I do? So I set them up on a prospect search, meaning that any listings that come up in the neighborhood or sells, they're getting it right away. So at least I'm top of mind that way. The other way is also too, if I know that there's a specific home that they're looking for, a specific area, I'm also putting them on a home search. So, also in that conversation, I'm letting them know, hey, listen, I understand you're in the information stage, but the most important part is learning about your real estate equation. Your real estate equation is doing the first part, which is how much your house can sell in today's market, whether you take advantage of it or not. And then the next question is, what does that leave you to buy with? So now I'm now giving them a package of like, okay, here's your solution of this is what you're looking for in this neighborhood for this amount. If you see anything you like, I think it's very important for us to go take a look at the property. Remember, no pressure on my end. We're just going for education only. So, if you end up finding the property, great, but that's not, the goal is to educate you on what your money can buy you today and if it's worth you making the move. So I'm coming from contribution, I'm coming from expertise, I'm
Love
coming
it.
from professionalism, and I'm becoming a problem solver. That's
I
what I
love it.
do. So that's kind of what I'm doing. And naturally, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, they're like, hey, Nick, I'm ready to list. Okay, perfect.
Let's go. So you're really setting the table with that approach. You're adding a
Yes.
tremendous amount of value. You're connecting them because a lot of folks, of course, sellers, like you said, they have to list to last. Sellers don't wake up. I love the way you package the whole thing, right? Because sellers don't get up in the morning saying they want to sell their home. Like no one,
No,
like the selling is the necessary evil to what they really want to do, which is actually get the next home. Like you're
exactly.
selling them on the vacation. If you talk about the listing, you're selling them on the trip to the airport, right? Like, like,
Exactly.
no,
No
like
one
no one
wants
wants to
that.
go to the
No
airport.
one
Yeah,
wants
that's
that.
like a
Unless it's a
necessary,
PJ, eh? Unless it's a
yeah,
private jet, right? Then we can all
maybe.
get along on that.
Probably, but the destination, like where they actually want to go. And I love that you
Yes,
connect both of those. Like, hey, this is one thing, but this is how we're actually going to get you to your actual desired location, which is purchasing the next property, right? So setting that expectation from the beginning, I think is a great, great, great way to do it. So, Nick, a tactical question. How has having an ISA team, because Meskula provides like an in-house ISA team to help, and they have the AI chatbots. They
yes,
help you get in touch with these leads right away. How
yes.
has that made a difference in your process? How has that helped you?
Definitely made it so much easier and helpful. The ISA, I connect with them. We go over what my targets are, who I want them to touch base with. Remember, they know what they're doing automatically, but what is more powerful is like, they're your ISA. So you have to explain to them how you think and what is important to you, right? So I go, hey, listen, these are the leads I want you to touch base. Here's the script that I would suggest you to do in order to book us a little bit more appointments. Because what you're saying is great, but we need to just tailor it in a different light. And then let me know how that goes. Also, too, when you're a busy agent, like I do 40, 50 transactions on my own before my team, right? So the thing is like I don't have time to call. Right. And that's where ISAs are really great to help, capture more leads in order for you to get more transactions, whether you take it for yourself or you hand it off to your team, whichever that may look like. But it is such a great help because the problem is like I can't call everyone. I can't. Like that's the problem. So these guys are an extension of my team who are going to be like me, and as you train them and as you help them with objections and get that type of lead quality you want, because they're all great, but every agent's different on the way they want to do things. So I think what's really cool with the ISAs is that they're open to being super open. They want to hear more, they want to have better scripts, and most importantly, they want to book more appointments for you. Like, I mean, so isn't that a win-win? I think that's a win-win.
I love it. Anytime you can add leverage to lead generation, like so direct, because getting the lead is part one, getting in touch with them and connecting with them and starting the process of getting that listing. Any help you can add in there is a win. Anything that helps make
100%.
that more efficient, more leverage, I think is amazing. So, Nick, I mean, this has been tremendous. This has been awesome. Two more questions for you. Number one, what would you recommend people that are thinking about doing, seller leads, thinking about, home valuation leads? They've heard, of course, they've heard all the horror stories. Oh, they don't work.
Of
The
course.
leads are garbage. Facebook doesn't work. All these things. What would you recommend they do to be successful with that?
Yeah. So I would recommend to not listen to people who are not winning in those lead gens. B,
Yeah,
I
of
would
course.
look at people who are winning and shadow them or take them out for lunch or take them out for dinner or just be near them so you can understand what they're doing correct and kind of mimic that or just change it to the more authentic self in the way that the scripting works or the way that your process works, right? And I think most of all is be prepared. Like, remember, these calls that you're doing are interview jobs, right? Remember, you're interviewing your job every day, right? You're interviewing. So you have to understand if you're going to a job tomorrow, you're going to be polished. You're going to take time to, read the mission statements or whatever. But the difference in this is that you are the person getting interviewed. So you have people coming to you asking questions to see if they want to work with you. And if you play your cards right and you become scripted and you become educated and you know your local market, you're always going to win. You're always going to win.
I love that. I love that. Final question, Nick. If people want to continue the conversation, learn more about you, your business, what you do, what is the best way to get in touch with you?
Yeah, reach me on Instagram on Moretti Real Estate, or send me an email at nick@morettirealestate.ca, or call me up at 416, what's my number? 416-559-5301. Whatever way, just hit me up on one of those ways, and I'm always here to help. I'm not an agent that has that scare mindset. There's enough business for everybody. That being said, if you want to win, play to win. Don't like show up 120%. Like you're going to the gym. You don't go to the gym just to do a 15-minute thing and do a snap and say, I'm at the gym. No, you go to the gym to get results, right? You're going to the gym to win, right? And if you're not winning in your life, it's because you're not taking it serious enough, or you got to listen to some David Goggins.
100%. Nick, appreciate you, man. I love the energy. I love the approach. It's not surprising to me that you're winning because you're doing it the right way. Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks, buddy.